To the Realty Rundown, the podcast that cuts through the noise of the real estate world. Your hosts, seasoned industry experts Nick and Nate, are here to guide you through the entire process. Each week, they're breaking down the latest market trends, decoding complex jargon, and sharing insider secrets you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're buying your first home, selling a property, or building an investment portfolio, we provide the clear, actionable advice you need to make your next move your best move.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Realty Rundown from the Nic Wyse team. I'm flying solo this week. Nate is still doing holiday things or recovering from too much eggnog and too many cookies. No, that's actually me. That's what I'm doing. Guys, welcome back to the Realty Rundown. I'm Nic Wyse, as I mentioned, and today we're going to be talking about NAR, the National Association of REALTORS, their 2026 housing forecast. I'm going to try and give you a quick episode. I know everybody's kind of got the Christmas hangover going on, so I try not to take up too much of your time. But the recovery that we're talking about here is coming. It looks positive. It's not going to be the same everywhere. So we're going to try and focus a little bit on the North Central market too. But let's get into some of the numbers. Let's get into some of the prognostications that we see coming out of NAR right now for the 2026 real estate market. So overall, again, the message is optimistic. It's been a couple of tough years, honestly, overall. But economists, they're expecting measurable improvement in the housing market activity in 2026. What we're talking about is existing home sales expected to rise. Affordability is expecting to improve, and those two go hand in hand, obviously. Mortgage rates projected to continue to ease, certainly not crash, but to trend lower. And then household formation continues to rise, especially amongst our younger generations, the millennials and the Gen Zers. Now, what does that mean, housing formation continuing to rise? That means we're talking about people who are hopefully buying their first home, couples that are moving in together, getting married, sharing a home. It also details, when people rent an apartment together. But it also, more importantly, looks at multi-generational households setting up separate living spaces. So that means your kid moving out of the basement, right, is really what we're talking about here. And they've actually got a pretty clever name for these people, ALICE homebuyers. Not that they're all named Alice, but ALICE is an acronym standing for Asset Constrained, Income Limited, but Employed. That last one's a real big one. That E, that employed, is very big. But I'm going to say it again: asset constrained, income limited, but employed. So we're talking about people that aren't exactly killing it yet, but they're able to generate enough income that they can save some money, get that down payment, and set themselves up to be home buyers, many of them for the very first time. So we love that. Basically, what it signals is a shift from a survival mode market to more of a selective growth market. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what that means. Mortgage rates and affordability, obviously, that is huge. That is key. NAR is expecting those mortgage rates to settle into a more stable range here in 2026. It's going to be a little bit lower than we've seen. We're not getting back to the 3%. We've said that 1,000 times. If we ever do, that is very, very bad. That means things are going very, very wrong. But we do expect them to continue to drop, even maybe a 1% drop in rates. And if we see that rate drop by 1%, that increases buying power by about 10%. So, you're talking about what your monthly mortgage payments are. Homes get much more affordable when those rates go down even a little bit. So even if we get a full 1% drop over the next year, it's huge. Makes a massive difference for affordability. So we've got buyers who have been waiting for years. We're going to see them continue to re-enter the market as these rates come down. It's also going to give sellers confidence that buyers can qualify. You're going to be more apt to accept an offer from a buyer, even if it's not full asking price, if you feel very confident that they can actually qualify. So affordability is it's been a huge challenge. It's going to remain a regional problem. So some markets are going to recover faster than others. Here in North Central Indiana, where prices didn't explode in the same way that they did elsewhere, the income to price ratios are actually much healthier. So the Midwest, the Great Lakes region, positioned really well for affordability. I know it might seem hard to believe because obviously home prices have increased, but not as much as they've increased in other areas of the country. So the Midwest still a good, affordable place to live and raise a family or raise yourself. Inventory, new construction. These are constraints that have been an issue for a long time, even going back before those sub 4% rates were floating around out there. But NAR is expecting more listings to come in 2026. Those rate lock pressures easing, as people are locked into their 2.85% mortgage and not wanting to move to a 6%. Well, if we can see those rates continue to go lower, those people are going to say, okay, we're ready to get off that 2.85 because we want to get a bigger home or a different style of home. So we're going to see that ease as far as how many sellers are willing to enter the market and willing to list their home and get a new mortgage. New construction remains super important, especially for our entry-level buyers. And the good news is we're seeing our builders focus less on giant luxury builds and more smaller, more affordable homes. You know, it's still tough out there. You know, you're looking at some of the brand new homes being built today, and we've got, $250, maybe $300 a square foot in some cases. But builders are aware that they need to be building affordable homes, trying to get first-time home buyers, maybe even into a brand new home. Even if it's just an 1,100 square foot home, that's still enough for a 3-bed, 2-bath family style home. You add in a basement in there, throw a couple of egress windows, maybe get some pre-plumbing to add another bathroom down the road. And then we've got a home that can be resold for value as you go forward and as you increase your buying power. So what does all this mean for buyers? Basically, 2026 is shaping up to be a nice window of opportunity, not likely to be a buying frenzy unless rates really drop. So it means more choice, less panic, still competitive, but rational. So a good market. For sellers, pricing and presentation matters again. It has in this last year. Buyers have more options. As inventory increases, buyers are going to have even more options. Homes that aren't updated, that aren't clean, and that aren't priced correctly, they're going to sit. We see that right now. You can't just throw everything out there and expect it to stick. You got to get your home ready for the market. So basically, to sum it up, 2026 looks like a recovery year. Looks like a good year for the market, driven by those easing rates, steady demand, regional affordability. Not going to be a dramatic year, I should say, but it will be healthier. All right, guys. It's good news. It's good news for everybody. And I kept it pretty short. Without Nathan on here babbling on, it goes a lot quicker, doesn't it, guys? We miss him. We'll get him back on. All right, guys. That is episode 49 of the Realty Rundown. If you're thinking about buying or selling as we head into 2026, now's the time to plan, not be reactive, be proactive. Remember, Nick knows, get your answers, get your wise replies. We will see you next time.
And that's a wrap on another episode. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had as much fun as we did. We love sharing real estate insights, but as you can see, we also love to have a good time. This energy and passion is what we bring to every client. Buying or selling a home is a huge deal, but it doesn't have to be stressful. With the right team, it can even be fun. Ready to make your move? Let's connect.